I'm standing in my backyard watching a gray, sludgy mess swallow what used to be my dream pool. That pool cost me nearly a decade of savings, and now it's being destroyed in broad daylight. The woman supervising it all from above? That's Margaret Cole, the self-appointed tyrant of our homeowners association. This happened in Cedar Ridge Estates, a hillside neighborhood where every house looks like it belongs in a brochure. I live near the bottom of the slope. Margaret lives at the top, with a clear view straight into my yard and apparently an obsession with controlling it. I built that pool legally. Permits approved, survey completed. Inspections passed. It was a saltwater pool with a small waterfall, soft lighting, and heating so I could use it year-round. After years of overtime shifts, that pool was the one thing that made the stress feel worth it. The day it was finished, Margaret didn't congratulate me. She leaned over her balcony and complained that the water reflection was too flashy and that the pump might disturb her evenings. I tried to smooth things over. I even invited her to come see it up close. She declined, scribbled notes, and walked away. 2 days later, the fines started. First, it was a non-approved water feature. Then, excessive recreational noise. At one point, she actually measured sound levels from her deck while my nieces were laughing in the pool. She called the police twice. They didn't take her seriously. That's when she escalated. Margaret dug up an outdated HOA site map and claimed my pool deck crossed an easement by less than an inch. I showed her the updated survey. I showed her city approval. She waved it off and said the HOA rules mattered more than local law. Her exact words were, "You can remove it yourself, or I'll make sure it's handled." I involved my attorney and left town for a family emergency, assuming no one would dare touch my property while the issue was under legal review. I was wrong. While I was 3 hours away, my security alerts exploded. Trucks, heavy equipment, a concrete mixer backing into my yard. My neighbor called, panicked, saying they'd cut my gate and rolled straight through my garden. I opened the camera feed just in time to hear Margaret say, "This is an HOA enforcement action." Then she ordered the pour. Concrete flooded the pool. Thick, heavy, relentless. One truck after another. By the time I got home, my pool was gone, replaced by a solid slab of wet stone. Margaret watched from above, wineglass in hand, smiling like she'd won. But she didn't understand something very important. Water is heavy. Concrete is much heavier. Her house sat on a steep slope, held in place by a retaining system designed for soil and water pressure, not tens of thousands of extra pounds added all at once. About an hour after the pour finished, I heard a deep cracking sound. Not from the concrete, but from the hill. The ground shifted. The retaining wall above me began to fail. The earth itself started moving. Margaret's patio tilted. Her landscaping slid. Then the hillside gave way. In slow motion, her deck, outdoor kitchen, and luxury hot tub collapsed downhill, slamming directly into the hardened concrete slab she'd ordered poured into my pool. Emergency crews arrived, but not for me. The city engineer shut her house down immediately. He confirmed she had altered the load conditions of the slope without permits, triggering a structural failure. Insurance refused coverage. Intentional acts aren't protected, especially when they cause geological damage. Text messages surfaced showing Margaret ignored warnings about the weight. She was removed from the HOA board within days. Lawsuits followed. From me, from the contractors, even from the HOA itself. Her house was condemned. The land was sold. Every dollar required to remove the concrete and stabilize the hillside came out of her pocket. It took weeks to repair the damage, but I didn't pay a cent. I rebuilt the pool, bigger, better, and I bought the empty lot above my house, the one where her mansion used to stand, and planted trees. She wanted to enforce control. Instead, she collapsed her own foundation. If you believe HOA abuse should have consequences, subscribe to HOA Central, because sometimes the rules don't just come crashing down, they slide downhill.